This is One-on-One.
Welcome back to One-on-One. I'm Joanna Gagis, here for Steve Adubato. It happens all the time. Someone sells their home, they begin packing their belongings, getting ready for the big move. But what happens to the food in their home that's very often just too much to bring with them? Well, our next guest is moving that food to fight hunger.
My family's owned a moving company here in New Jersey for over 90 years. My great-grandfather actually started the business, Lowy's Moving Service. And growing up, when your dad owns a moving company, you have to work on a moving truck. But in that time, we saw just a ton of stuff get thrown away when people relocated. Food, clothing, furniture, you name it. And what bothered us was the perfectly good, unopened, non-perishable food that people were leaving in their cabinets or just throwing away.
After doing some research, Adam learned an alarming statistic. 40% of the food produced in the United States ends up in a landfill.
The fact that we're in a nation where 50 million Americans go to bed hungry every single night, while 40% of the food that we produce is ending up in the trash. That's ridiculous. So we participate with an organization called Move for Hunger. If you have any unopened, non-perishable food you don't want to bring with you, we'd be happy to pick that food up and bring it to the food bank for you at no charge.
I would love to do that. Do you want to see what we have?
Yeah, let's go see it.
All right, let's go.
We started asking people, do you want to donate your food when you move? That was it. I mean, it was a simple question. And in a month, from doing nothing more than a question, we collected 300 pounds of food.
Hi.
Adam partnered with the food bank of Monmouth and Ocean County, which distributes food to local soup kitchens and food pantries.
The Food Bank of Monmouth and Ocean Counties, where we're sitting, is a distribution center. We actually work with 300 feeding programs in our network. I like to say we feed the programs that feed the people. Right now, we're providing food and services to about 1 in 10 individuals in the 2 counties. That's over 132,000 people, including 40,000 children. We have seen an increase over the last several years, and it continues to grow. And of the families we actually serve, over 62% of them are working 1 or more jobs. So it's the working poor who seem to be most in need at this time.
Ed Weisbrod is a coordinator at the Shalom Hot Lunch Mission in Lacey Township, one of the soup kitchens that the food bank supports.
The demographics are people that come in from the woods, people that live in their cars, a lot of people who live in the retirement villages whose only income is Social Security, people who have lost a job and have a lot of bills to pay, and this helps them eat and be able to pay those bills as well.
While the need in New Jersey is great, Adam realized the problem extended well beyond the state, so he began reaching out to moving companies across the country.
I just started calling moving companies immediately, and everybody hung up on me. Just some random kid from New Jersey calling people saying, do you want to be part of my nonprofit that you've never heard of? Not a good idea. We started with Wheaton Van Lines, and we did a pilot with them with 8 different movers in 8 different states. And at that time, I decided to call ourselves a national organization because we were in 8 states, might as well. To date, that amount is now over 7.5 million pounds of food, which is enough to feed over 6 million people.
You see an organization like Move for Hunger that really procures food from people who otherwise don't understand the waste, the need, and how they can be part of a solution. Why is a homegrown organization like this such a good model?
It's a good model because I think it sets an example for other organizations to follow that model. The whole idea of saving food and bringing it to people in need makes a huge difference to the lives of those families it's helping. It helps the children, it helps the adults, it helps with health, it helps with homework, it helps them in so many different ways. This year, we project that we're going to get between 3.5 million and 4 million pounds of food that otherwise would have been wasted.
Without that, the church where we have our soup kitchen, they budget me $30 a meal that serves about 60 people. That comes out of the collection plate. So the more that we can get from places where food is donated, the better it is for us.
For me, one of the most rewarding things has been just seeing other companies adopt this and get excited about it.
To get people even more excited, Adam began organizing food drives throughout the U.S.
We built this network of moving companies all across the country, and we basically have trucks and boxes at our disposal. So we figured, why not do food drives? Last year alone, we organized nearly 600 food drives from young people to big corporations. We recently did this one called Can the CEO, where we worked with a big corporate office, and we encouraged their employees to bring in so much food and shove it in their CEO's office to the point where she couldn't even get inside that office anymore. You know, we're making them competitive, we're making them creative, because a food drive is so much more than just putting a can of food in a box.
The food that is collected and donated to the food bank has the ability to change the lives and the futures of the children it feeds.
We work with the Boys and Girls Club of both Monmouth County in Red Bank and Asbury Park, and we provide 140 hot, nutritionally balanced meals every day for their after-school program. We also have a backpack program in which we're working with 29 schools. We work with the nurses, teachers, and guidance counselors to help us determine who the highest risk kids are. And for those children, 29 schools, 800 kids, these 800 kids get a sealed plastic pack of 4 meals and 2 snacks that is discreetly slipped into their backpack that they receive every Friday, so we know they have food for the weekend.
Adam hopes that one day there will no longer be food waste or a need for organizations like Move for Hunger, but for now, he will continue to encourage food donation.
My goal is to make sure that every American has the opportunity to donate their food when they move. And if we succeed in that mission, you no longer need Move for Hunger.
In Monmouth and Ocean County, we have such a great community support. We couldn't do it alone. It's really because of organizations, the retail stores, organizations like Move for Hunger. Everyone comes together. If we all come together, we can make sure that hunger won't win here.
In 2016, Adam was named as an honoree of the Russell Berrie Awards for Making a Difference.
The Russ Berrie Awards really helped to shine a positive light on the work that Move for Hunger is doing. And I think it's important because a lot of people might have been like me 8 years ago that didn't know anything about hunger in their communities. It's a solvable problem. It really is. We're not going to solve all of hunger, all of food waste. We know that. But can we fix food waste within relocation? Absolutely. Can we teach an entire industry to become more socially responsible in the way they do business and to use their resources effectively to help communities? Absolutely. And that's our goal with Move for Hunger. There is more than enough food in this country to feed everybody. We just need to make sure that more of this food can get from point A to point B.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berrie Foundation, Virtua, Partners for Health Foundation, Qualcare Inc., Johnson & Johnson, Kessler Foundation, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.